I grew up behind a busted shop out on the edge of Nashville skin, where the beer was cheap, the sleep was short, and nobody thought of more than making rent again. Same faces at the same old bar, same stories on a loop till close. Every Friday felt like prison, with better music and worse clothes. They'd raise a glass when the paycheck hit, say, hell, son, that's just life. You're born, you work, you drink, you die, like fate was some old barroom night. But that night something cracked in me, right between the guilt and the gasoline. I said, if life's already written, then a man like me should be able to rewrite the scene. I ain't staying small just cause this town forgot how to believe in anything. I walked out in the rain with my heart on fire, boots soaking through on that back road mile. I refuse to be chained to the zip code printed on my first piece of mail. If I gotta go to war with my own bloodline, then hell, I'll set my own trail. Storm clouds hanging low and mean, street lights buzzing like tire flies. I ran past every rusty mailbox with my last name stamped in white. Had a cheap gold cross on my collarbone, a sinner's rosary in my fist, talking half to God, half to ghosts. If you're real, then watch me risk. I saw my old man's shadow in every dark window I passed by. Heard his voice say, know your place, boy, and I spit rain and said, not tonight. My lungs were burning like a cement throat, tasted like metal and mud. Every step felt like I was stomping on the neck of everything I was. And I swore to every busted star peeking through the Tennessee storm. If life's already written, then I'll call my name right over every line they gave. I ain't died in the same bar chair where my neighbors wait to hit the grave. I walked out of that small town story with nothing but a spark and a will not to crawl. Maybe I ain't meant to be holy, but I ain't meant to stay small. Yeah, rain on my face, thunder in my chest, no map, no promise at all, just one cold truth I branded on my soul. I wasn't born to fit inside the borders of their little world. I was born to break the frame they tried to hang on my life. I didn't rise to impress this town, I rose so it could never keep me small.
He met her where the steel string echoed, harder than the words men couldn't say. A bar so smoky even memories couldn't find their way out or escape. He sat quiet with that killer pride, jaw tight, eyes cold as winter wind. A man built like he never needed anyone, been damned if he'd ever let someone in. She watched him lie to himself the same way men in that bar always do. And when he said, "I don't need help," she said, "No, you need the truth." It wasn't softness, it was still with Mercy's face. 'Cause love ain't a rescue, it's a mirror you finally stop running from. It ain't a promise whispered sweet, it's standing there when the damage comes. She didn't try to fix him, didn't beg or break or push. She just looked right through the armor and refused to be his excuse. That night by the river, with no vows, no words, he finally understood. Sometimes the truest kind of love is the one that dares to bruise you good. They sat in the back of his beat-up truck, watching Cumberland water drag the moon. No music, no future talked about, just two wounded hearts without room. He tried to speak, then stopped, 'cause silence finally said more than pain. She didn't hold him, didn't ask, she just stayed and let the storm explain. In that quiet old ghost move, and every scar he'd buried rose, he whispered, "Why haven't you left?" She answered, "Because I see who you could be, not what you chose." And something shifted, not loud but permanent. 'Cause love ain't saving someone, it's handing them the match to burn the past. It ain't shelter from the thunder, it's standing still while the lightning cracks. She didn't fix him, well, she never even tried. She made him face the man he hid from every time he swallowed pride. And now every time that river moves, dragging secrets like it always would, he remembers the night he learned this truth. Real love don't come gentle, but it teaches a man how to stand honest for the first time he ever could. Lost my job at the steel mill after 11 damn years of sweat and rust. No warning, no handshake, just silence in a cardboard box collecting dust. My boots felt heavier walking home, but my pride stayed sharp like a broken blade. Folks said, maybe take a break, man. Go find yourself for a couple days. I laughed harder than I meant to, took a drag and spit on the ground. Finding myself won't feed me, and that truth hit cleaner than any breakdown. So I stitched together a life out of grind, grit, gasoline, and night. 'Cause pain ain't punishment, pain's the fire that teaches you to fight. I've bled for every dollar, every scar turned into something right. Call me stubborn, call me reckless, call me anything you want, but watch me rise. I ain't built for quit, I'm built from every time life tried to break me twice. Pain ain't the reason I fell, pain's the reason I climbed. I hauled freight under moonlight, fixed tractors till my knuckles tore, mop whiskey floors and broken glass, in bars where angels don't walk anymore. Some men stared like I was crazy, said, hell man, we just gave up. But I kept moving, jaw tight, with the hunger no comfort could ever shut up. Later the same man asked, why didn't you drown like the rest of us did? I wiped off from my hands and smirked, because losing everything ain't the same as losing your will to live. And God is my witness, I'd rather choke on effort than starve on excuses. 'Cause pain ain't punishment, it's the hammer that shapes a stubborn soul. It burns the weakness out of you and turns a broken man whole. Yeah, I've worked through storms, through silence, through doubt, thick as smoke, but I ain't angry at the struggle. Hell, the struggle's the reason I woke. Call it fatal fire or stubborn pride, but I'll say it clean and true. The world tried to bury me, I just used the dirt to grow. Pain didn't break me, pain gave me something to prove. To my life like a storm that never learned to end. Scarred hands, sharp tongue, and eyes that never pretended. You weren't soft, hell, you were fire stitched to bone. I guess I needed someone who didn't let me lie my way home. We fought loud, we fought mean, then went silent like two guns without rounds. Walked away like
like strangers, came back like sinners. Hell refused to drown. Sometimes love ain't roses, sometimes it's rust, blood and grit. Yeah. Sometimes it's two wounded wolves still choosing not to quit. And you stood there breathing heavy, a shadow long across that floor, like you were daring me to finally be something more. You said if you're gonna stay, stay to grow, not to repeat. Your voice cut deeper than anger, deeper than leaving, deeper than defeat. This ain't Hollywood love, it's dirt, whiskey, scars, and truth. If we're gonna fight, then let it build, not bruise. Because loving you ain't easy, but running from you ain't peace. And if I stay to rise, not repeat. We sat in the dark after the yelling, just breathe in the ticking of the clock. You held the door, but you didn't leave. You waited to see if I'd finally talk. My chest felt like a battlefield where every memory had teeth. And you didn't try to save me, you waited for the part of me still breathing underneath. I finally said I don't want perfect, I just don't wanna drown. You nodded slow and answered, then stopped building altars to the past, burn the whole damn structure down. There was no kiss, no soft fix, just two broken hearts refusing to quit. And you said if you're gonna stay, stay to grow, not to repeat. And that line felt like a match held to every excuse beneath my feet. This ain't pretty love, this is welded love, fire and steel love, learn to heal love. If I fall, I stand. If I hurt, I learn. If I stay, then watch every cycle burn. Because loving you ain't comfort, it's choosing honesty over retreat. And yeah, if I'm here to grow, not to repeat. I spent years running from my own damn shadow, changing towns like names I never planned to keep. Told folks movement means progress. The truth is, I was just scared to dig deep. Every highway felt like mercy, every motel room another master wear. But the farther I drove from my past, the louder it waited for me there. One morning on a frozen Tennessee porch, fire crawling low like smoke above the rust, I finally whispered to the silence, if I keep running, I'll never heal. 'Cause running ain't strength, staying is. I ain't scared of ghosts. They're mine to face. No more hiding behind motion. No more leaving when the truth cuts the wire. If the world won't build a place for me, then hell, I'll build it brick by brick. Yeah, I'm done mistaking distance for growing thick skin or being strong. I ain't looking for a better map. I'm burning this earth into where I belong. I tore down every memory like old barbed wire. Held the rust in my hands till the blood ran clean. 'Cause truth hurts, but lies are what really kill a man. I burned the letters I never sent. Kept the Bible in a pocket knife instead. Told myself no more running from the man I could have been. I'll meet him and merge the versions in my head. The mountains didn't answer, but they didn't need to. The silence finally felt like space, not punishment. A place to start, not flee through. And for the first time in my reckless life, stillness didn't feel like a cage. It felt like a choice, a declaration. Cause running ain't strength, staying is. And I'd rather stand here broken than run forever untouched. If peace don't come easy, I'll earn it. If the past knocks, I won't flinch or duck. I call the promise in this dirt road air. I won't chase another ghost to avoid the machine that made me mine. No more roads disguised as escapes. No more leaving when things get rough. Maybe I ain't holy, maybe I ain't clean, but I'm here, present stuff enough. And if I fall, I'll fall forward. If I rebuild, I'll rebuild strong. I don't need somewhere better. I'm making here where I finally belong.